Hello, people. Welcome back. Today, special guest introducing Danny Kaey. Danny Kaey contacted me through my channel. We met, we talked, then we decided to do things together. But maybe we start with a short introduction. Danny, who are you?
Hey, what's up, Michael? Good to see you. And, you know, it's so funny how, what a small world we live in.
Nowadays.
Right? I mean, you know, think about it. 10 years ago, this never would have happened, you know? And so I've been watching YouTube videos on record collectors, and, you know, through the algorithms of YouTube, yours popped up. And I was like, hey, this guy's interesting. He's doing things a little different, right? The first thing that struck me is your ambience, right? Your background. You know, immediately I'm like, okay, this guy is a collector. He knows what's good, and he can appreciate quality, right? Because I think that's what all of this is really about. It's quality. It's the bespoke nature of things, right? And so, you know, drifting into my background, so audiophile, music lover, really, more of a music lover than audiophile, right? And I started writing, first of all, I'm in Los Angeles. All the LA people out there, hello, greetings. I'm in Los Angeles.
You are from Austria.
That's true, yes.
Austria. So that means if I have a problem translating from German to English,
that's right. I'll help you.
I can ask you for, oh, that's so great.
Yes, that's right. That's exactly right. No stecken bleiben. You know, so 20 years ago, I started writing for a magazine called Positive Feedback Online as a reviewer. They were transitioning from going from print magazine to online, obviously, and they were looking for writers. And, you know, first it struck me, I was like, hey, I hadn't, you know, I like reading, right? I like to read about hi-fi equipment, about records and stuff. I never thought of myself as a writer. But, you know, being that things were the way they were, here we are 20 years later, and I've now written for several other publications, including Fidelity in Germany. And most recently, I'm with Audiophile Style, which is a web publication about high-end audio here in the U.S. It's based in the U.S., obviously. But records really is my passion, music.
Yeah, but you know, Danny, what's very important now, you're on my channel, and there's a main difference between writing for a magazine and talking on 45 RPM audiophile. Here you can tell the truth. You don't have...
That's right. That's a
very important.
Yes, that's a good point. That's a very good point. You know, reviewing is, especially, and look, with your background in advertising, right? I think what's interesting about reviewing is that, you know, and I don't, first of all, I speak for myself, right? But I think we have terms like influencers. We have terms, you know, vloggers. It started with blogging, right? And then it moved into video. And now everything is looking on YouTube, and everybody's trying to start a channel on YouTube to get their 5 minutes of fame and fortune, right? And I think what's interesting is that, you know, people ask me all the time, you know, the elephant in the room, how come you never write a negative review, right? How come you don't say, hey, this speaker, this amp, this whatever sucks. It's awful.
Especially when it comes to hi-fi equipment. Especially in hi-fi equipment, it's
yes,
terrible.
And there is terrible stuff out there, right? There is absolutely terrible stuff out there that is famous for being amazing, when in reality, it's not great at all, right? And so I think what's interesting is that, you know, obviously the marketing machinery is very powerful, right? And I review products that I personally like when I'm talking about the magazines that I write for, right? Because what's the point with how everything is connected with me writing a negative review about something? No one's going to care, right? I mean, a small percentage of people are going to be like, oh, you know, okay, it's a negative review. Great. Why would I look at a review that's negative? Everybody wants to hear positive stuff, right?
No, yeah, in a way you're right. But you're in the fortunate position that you don't do it for a living. You do it
correct
still as a hobby, because your daytime job is something completely different.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate. My daytime job is on the IT side of the business, and this is a hobby, and it will always be a hobby. And to your point, I think what's interesting about that is that I am not beholden to certain manufacturers. I am not beholden to certain stigmas. I'm not beholden to certain cliches in high-end audio that other people that write for all the big magazines, the Absolute Sound, Stereophile, etc., are, because that's their living. That's how they get a paycheck, right? And so, people, I think it's really ironic, very ironic, I think, that both you and I are such big proponents of Einstein, right?
It's not a coincidence. It is a coincidence.
It isn't.
It's not.
But it's not.
An incident, but it's
yes.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And I love your videos. I love the one you just did the other day with Volker talking about the turntables and the iconic designs of turntables, etc. You're right. It's not a coincidence, but it is a coincidence. And so I've listened to so much stuff, and I keep coming back to Einstein. It's music, it's dynamic, it's drive, it's power. So anyway, so that's really my background. It's a hobby of mine. I'm very passionate about music.
You are. The time we are in contact now, which are several weeks, I've learned that you are very passionate about vinyl, very passionate about audio equipment, and this is a common thing we share. And you you showed me something I really didn't know about, and that is something great. Shall we show our first record together? Very special.
Let's do it. Yes, indeed. It is very special.
This is this one.
Ta-da! Yes.
Unbelievable audiophile recording from a French record company.
Yeah.
Tell something about it, Danny.
So it's really interesting. I came across this. A friend of mine who knows that I collect the ERC records from the Electric Recording Company. He said, "Oh, I have a record for you that I guarantee you've never heard of." And I was like, "Okay, I'm sure there's millions of them." And he goes, "No, seriously, this is very similar to what ERC does. It's the bespoke nature of recreating an absolute facsimile of the original record as you could go and buy in 1956, I believe, or 57, right?"
Now comes something very, very important, Danny. Very, very important. But this special recording is, in a way, an original, because they found the tapes, and this one has never been on vinyl before.
Correct.
The recording is from the 50s, but it has never been on vinyl, but they go the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
With the mastering, the reconstruction of the cover, how it has been done in the 50s. Incredible efforts, incredible efforts.
I mean, just look at the gold foil printing. You know, I don't know if you'll be able to see that in perspective on YouTube, but it is remarkable. And this is all handmade.
And it's so sturdy. It's
incredible.
It's incredible.
Absolutely incredible. Yeah.
Unbelievable beautiful. Unbelievable.
Absolutely incredible.
I think they have done 200s, right?
Yes.
200.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely incredible. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he actually went back and found the correct typography.
Right.
And recreated the typography for the print so that the record looks exactly as it did if it would have come out. And I believe you're correct. In fact, I think the record originally was supposed to come out as a double LP, but it never did.
Yes.
And so he actually recreated the original intent of and of course I'm gonna completely bastardize it, the label, Le Discophile Français. And so if you look at the cover, actually, it's DF 211 and 212, right?
Right.
And so, you know, it's remarkable, I think, what has happened. And by the way, it's pressed at Palace, which, you know, one of my all-time favorite pressing plants.
Not only yours. In my opinion, the best pressing plant in the world.
I agree. I think, you know, obviously, you know, here in America, we've got RTI, which is, you know, the old school that everybody uses. Yeah. Quality record pressings, obviously Chad Kassem. They all do a phenomenal job.
I think United is good, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Very, very good. You know, I think, not to get too distracted, but I think it's very important and critical for these bespoke reissues that are coming out, like the French record company, that they only use the absolute best pressing plants, because otherwise, what's the point, right?
Yeah, but you know, our viewers probably say, and they are right in a way, again, this recording, you have to pay 600 euros.
Yeah.
Which is about, I think, about 680 to 700 US dollars. And of course, those recordings can't sound 10 times better than an analog production or a MoFi or a SAM or whatever record. Of course, they can't. But that's not the whole point. I think we have to consider, you brought in the term facsimiles, and there are also books. I remember in the early 2000s, there have been a facsimile of the private Bible of Heinrich Löwen, Henry the Lion. And this facsimile, you have to pay 36,000 German marks. There has been 36,000 because it was tremendous effort, and they doesn't sound 10 times better, but those are very, very special collector's edition. And that's the point. Of course, you can say that's ridiculous. Yeah, of course, it is ridiculous. In a way, if you're not on that boat, I agree.
Michael, I think it's the same thing as anything bespoke, right? A bespoke suit from a Savile Row tailor, right? Because that's obviously the British creme de la creme of tailoring, right? A bespoke shoe, right? Anything bespoke, is it better in terms of its essence than an off-the-shelf product? No, it's not, especially considering the price, right? So yes, of course, is this record worth, 600 euros?
Yes, it is. In my opinion, it is.
It is. It is, because it's handmade, and you have to understand and appreciate the nature of the complete project and the undertaking and what is required to do something like this.
And then you have 200 pieces, and then you have 200 pieces.
That's right.
The return of investment.
That's right.
And by the
That's
way,
exactly right.
Something very important, in my opinion, because we just mentioned the electric recording company. From this DVC edition, I put a link down below. If there are maybe some collectors amongst our viewers, there are a few left. There are really a few left, because their marketing machinery is not so sophisticated like the machinery from electric recording company. And if you want to try to get a hand on this kind of editions, because usually they are gone within minutes. But here, chance to get hands on a few. I think he only has left a few, but still, there's a chance if you are interested.
One other thing I want to mention on this, because I think it's very critical, and you and I have spoken about this several times. It really pisses me off, to use that term, when I see YouTubers, and we both know the guy that I'm talking about, that review these records out of context, right? And, oh, there's dropouts on there. Oh, it's not perfect. Oh, dude, it's a handmade facsimile of the original from 65 plus years ago. The tape has been in storage. There probably will be dropouts on the tape, right? But that's not the point. The point is,
for example, if you come to this facsimile of this record, he even writes that there is a small dropout on a part of the record. And Sam Records, by the way, did the same on one of their editions. That's great. Tell them here's the dropout.
That's right.
We were talking about the fraction of a second.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. Who cares? You're going to listen past it.
In a way, who cares? Yeah. So you may have your 25-page thread on the Hoffman forums.
That's right. It's okay. Who cares?
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. No, it's really, I think it's critical to put things in perspective. I forgot who said it. Perspective is the mother of clarity, right? And you really have to put things in perspective, and you have to review things when you review them in the context of how they're supposed to be reviewed, right? If I take an Einstein OTL amplifier that's, 55,000 euros now.
No prices, please.
Right? You can't review it next to a Sony receiver, right? You can't review it next to a, Audio Research tube amplifier that you can buy for $10,000, right? It's not the same thing. Yes, they both use tubes, but it's not the same thing. And I think the exact same analogies with these records, right? This is, you can find a copy of this record. In fact, actually, if I'm not mistaken, there is I think it was a label out of Hong Kong. I may be off, but I think there was a label out of Hong Kong that reissued one of these records. You can get it on eBay.
This one.
But not this one. That's exactly it, right? So you get a standard cover, slipcase cover. It wasn't pressed at Palace. It wasn't probably done from the original tapes. And you can buy it on eBay for $35. Knock yourself out, right? So anyway, it's fascinating. I think we're living in a time where you can do this sort of thing. The market exists.
I really hope that there will be more of I really hope that, because we have to have the ability to choose between. Nowadays, we only have the electric recording company who does that kind of stuff. And that's this extensive way. So it's good if there are more, and this is a real opportunity to get into that because it's available. It's there. But Danny, you put out some other
treasures
for our viewers. Some audiophile listening tips, which are not the usual suspects, which are not on every list, and because you also go to a lot of hi-fi shows and auditions, I think, and so you put out some marbles, some crown jewels. Let's call them
some crown jewels. There you go. The crown jewels of the library.
Show us your crown jewels, Danny.
All right. Okay. So here's one that I think is really interesting. So it's on the Telarc label, and it's called Time Warp.
Movie.
And this came out in 1982, I believe. Conducted by, I think, the most famous music score conductor, Erich Kunzel. Excuse me, if I'm American, it's Erich Kunzel. If I say it in Austrian, Erich Kunzel.
Better.
So there you go, Erich Kunzel. He's one of my favorite conductors, of course, with the Cincinnati Pops Orchestra. And it's got, there's, of course, here's another English-ism. Also sprach Zarathustra.
Also sprach
Zarathustra.
Talk like an adult.
That's right, exactly. So there's music on here from Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, Star Wars, of course, Alien. And what's amazing is, so this is a digital recording. I believe they use the SoundStream recording processor, which, they were like the early adopters of switching to digital from analog. And it is, if someone tells me, friends that come by, and they're like, vinyl records, digital sounds better, there's more dynamic. I'm like, okay, let me play this record for you, and your socks are gonna fall off, right? Phenomenal recording, obviously. And you know what else? Look, I love soundtracks. I'm a big soundtrack guy. In fact, I have a whole section on my record shelf just for soundtracks. I hope you have
Atari.
Of course. How could you not? Henry Mancini. Yes, of course. Actually, you know what? One of these days we should do a session just on soundtracks. There's some gems. Some real gems in soundtrack section. So anyway, so this is a phenomenal record. And by the way, if you look on eBay, not that expensive. I think you can pick up a copy for $30, right? So phenomenal. But so this is one.
You consider this is an audiophile recording?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Yes. It's not only great music, but it sounds absolutely unbelievable. I mean, like I said, Erich Kunzel, the Cincinnati Pops, the guys from Telarc, I forgot the guy's name who recorded it, it's the recording engineer. Exceptional. Absolutely exceptional.
I will get that because I really want to hear the Alien soundtrack on this one.
Oh, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So switching tempos and switching genres, I should say. So this is our beloved James Taylor. Okay. This came out on Analog Spark, reissue label. And it's 2 records, 45 RPM. Actually, is it 45? I'm pretty sure it's 45 RPM. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 45 RPM. For the first time on vinyl. And I tell you, the recording, let me say this. I don't think, unless you've heard this record, I don't think you've ever actually heard the record.
Okay.
Because what you listen to on Tidal or the CD is honestly 65-70% of what's on here. I'm not kidding. When you play the track Gaia, which is the first cut on side 2, the bass that kicks in, Michael, it shakes your room. If you have full range speakers that are capable of reproducing it, it shakes your room.
Okay.
Exceptional. Absolutely exceptional. It's still in print. I think it's $40. So absolutely a must-have on James Taylor. Then, of course, I believe, in fact, I know you do. Chad did a phenomenal job.
Yes.
Yes.
Finally, I can.
We have the same record. Phenomenal.
Yeah. You know what I like? What I like on this wonderful sounds edition. I think if someone would love to go into audiophile records and want to have a good overview, I think those wonderful sounds, also the female voices or the male voices. Now, okay, I have the wonderful sound of Chris and something different, but here you get a fantastic overview over the whole palette. Help me out.
Yeah, palette. Yeah, with the genres. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
This one.
If I look at Spanish Jack, Ville de Ville, unbelievable.
That's unbelievable. I hope, and please, Chad, please put out his whole catalog. It's unbelievable.
I know. You know what I love about Chad? So for our viewers, Chad Kassem is the owner of Acoustic Sounds.
Oh, thank you.
He's been in business for, I believe, 35 years or 36 years this year. He started selling records out of the trunk of his car, and has obviously grown his business incredibly over the last couple of decades. And really, he's one of the top. Not one. He's the top reissue producer, I think, for all sorts of genres and all sorts of music.
You know that he got a Love Supreme from John Coltrane.
Oh yeah.
To get this one from Universal is an unbelievable effort. If he can get a Love Supreme, he can get anything.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
and so. What I love about Chad is he will put on these compilations or he will reissue stuff that no one else touches.
Yeah.
Right. And, exceptional record, absolutely fantastic. And, an inexpensive way of someone to get into audiophile reissues, to your point.
Highly recommended if you want to try something out. Yeah.
Yes. Here's another one. This came out a couple of years ago, maybe about 10 years ago. I don't know if it's still in print or not. Eva Cassidy, Nightbird.
Okay.
So, gorgeous. So this was recorded in a nightclub. It's a 4 LP set. If I'm not mistaken, it was recorded over a couple of days or maybe even a week of her performing live. Obviously, all live recordings. It's her and her guitar. And
it's one of these intimate, personal, private. Okay, I get it.
Unbelievable. I mean, you mentioned earlier hi-fi shows, Eva Cassidy. You'll hear her in all the rooms, right? People will play the music, but this is truly exceptional. It's very intimate. She passed away way too soon. Right. She would have had an incredible career, obviously, I think. I know. But this is Nightbird. It's 4 LPs. It also came out as a 45 RPM box set, which I believe then becomes 8 LPs, if I'm not mistaken.
Sounds like records. Imagine.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
A 16 LP.
Yes, that's right. That's right. No, they did a phenomenal job with this.
How is the availability of this edition?
So I got this at Acoustic Sounds, I want to say 5-6 years ago. I don't know if it's still available. I think it is. I think it's still available.
Okay.
Check it out.
I really have to get it. If it's that good.
Exceptional.
If it's
Absolutely
not available, Danny, you have to send me yours, you know.
Sounds good. You got it. It's a deal. All right. Let's see. Oh, here's a phenomenal one. Okay. So this is going back to soundtracks. So this is one of my favorite soundtracks, conducted by the great John Williams, Memoirs of a Geisha.
Movie.
Yes. Phenomenal. So here's an interesting thing. So this was done by Music on Vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously they reissue all sorts of stuff. I mean, a very complete catalog.
Then this sometimes they are good and sometimes they are terrible, right?
That's very true, right? I think it all depends on who is doing the mastering.
Yeah, sure.
And I think it depends on what files they received. They obviously, I don't think that one record that Music on Vinyl does was actually done from tapes. I could be wrong. You know, I'm sure we'll see it in the comments section probably, but I don't think that they use original tapes. I think it's all done from digital files, which is fine, right? I mean, I have, you know, no problem with it in that sense.
Okay, if it's done right, okay. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
This, first of all, the movie is phenomenal, but the score is incredible. And so it came out again for the second time 3 months ago. It was out of print from the first run and going on eBay for $200-300.
Okay.
It's a double LP. And it was, you know, I have the CD obviously, and I was like, yeah, you know what, I mean, I love it, but I don't know that I love it that much, right? And so it's a beautiful reissue. I guess they finally figured out, hey, we can sell a lot more of these. So they did another run of, I believe, 1,500 units.
Okay.
On white vinyl. Very nicely done. Right? And it's gorgeous. I mean, Michael, seriously, I'm sure you can still find this. I mean, like I said, this just came out 2-3 months ago. I'm sure you can still find this. It's phenomenal. Absolutely beautiful music.
Yeah, you will find a list of those recordings in the description section.
Description below. Yeah.
So we will provide you with all the links you need.
Yeah.
So if you want to go into one of those.
Exceptional recording. Absolutely beautiful. John Williams, obviously, you know, incredible talent, and he did the score, and it's hauntingly beautiful.
Yeah,
hauntingly beautiful.
I will go into them.
Yes, and then let's see.
Don't show Dire Straits. I told you, don't show the Dire Straits.
I was just gonna pull out.
People have
yeah, all right. I'll put it back. I'll put it back. Okay, so you know, going back, and this is, by the way, this is a complete coincidence. This was not planned. I just played this for a friend of mine the other day. He came over and he was like, "Man, you know, play something for me that will completely knock me out." And I was like, "All right." You know, I looked through my stash. You know, one of these days we'll do a video tour. Yeah, and I'll show you all my records that I have everywhere.
Show your maybe even show your hi-fi equipment. It's also
we can do that. Yes. So this is the Alternate Blues. Chad Kasson reissued this in the 90s on single LP 33. It's a Pablo recording, an original Pablo recording. I mean, Clark Terry, Freddie Hubbard, Dizzy Gillespie, Oscar Peterson is on it. It is, there's several takes of the main theme. There's several takes on it. And explosive dynamics. Unbelievable recording quality, and it's a must-have. I mean, seriously.
It's a must-have, Danny, but I think it's very hard to get, isn't it?
Unfortunately, that is very true. It's out of print on the original 33 that he first reissued. It's out of print on the 45 that he did. I think on eBay or Discogs, the going rate is about $200-300 for the 45. I picked this up, so this is another coincidence. I picked this up on eBay in Germany.
Okay.
About 2 months before I met you. And phenomenal. And I think I paid $40 for this, 40 euros.
Really?
Yeah.
So
lucky.
If you look around, you can get
If you look around, you can find it. If you look around, you can find it.
Yeah.
And then finally, this was a Christmas gift from a friend of mine. So everybody knows John Mayer, obviously, or, at least I would hope you would know him. And, I never got into John Mayer in the sense that I think really his Continuum is a phenomenal album. It's an incredible record. And after that, I think he kind of wandered off and did his own thing. He obviously became incredibly famous. And, I'm sure the producers and the A&R people were like, dude, you have carte blanche, do whatever you want to do. So my friend brought this over for Christmas as a gift, literally just the other day. And this is John Mayer live in Los Angeles, recorded in 2011, 4 LPs, absolutely sensational, stunning, rendition of his entire repertoire.
Okay.
Phenomenal. Obviously it's a live recording.
Available right now. It's not all of
Yes.
You can get
Yes, it's available. Yep, it's absolutely available. It comes in. Sorry.
Who does the pressing? With which label is it on?
I want to say it's. Hang on a second. Oh, Music on Vinyl. Go figure. The same guys as did Memoirs of a Geisha. Yeah, Music on Vinyl. I'm sure this is
colored stuff. It's on black vinyl, or is it?
Yes, black vinyl. Black vinyl. 4 LPs. I don't know where this was pressed. Who knows? I haven't found any defects or anything wrong with it. I played all 4 sides through, or all 8 sides, I should say. It is absolutely incredibly well recorded. It's obviously a digital recording. And when Philip, my friend who gave this to me, when he brought this over, he was like, you really have to open your Christmas gift. I'm dying to hear it. I was like, all right, let's guess what it is, right?
That's right. The record.
That's right. It's about this big, square. What can it be?
What can it be?
That's right. So I opened it up and I was like, wow, John Mayer, Where the Light Is, live in Los Angeles. How come I've never heard of this? And true enough, I put it on. He told me, play the first track, Gravity. Man, it's 8 minutes. Michael, unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Okay, I have to open my pocket once more when I talk.
That's right.
You see in what world I live, and
every time we talk, it ends up costing us money.
I think every one of our viewers has been in this situation. when you
I know.
Final, I need that. Oh, I need that. Damn it, I need that.
It's a never-ending story. It really is a never-ending story.
That's a good.
There is so much music out there.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, we had friends come over, and I have this book. It's like a coffee table book. 1,000 records you have to have.
Only
right?
1,000. Okay.
Yeah, and to start, right?
To start.
And yeah, and this friend came over. And he was like, doesn't know much about records, doesn't know much about music. Your average sort of, listens to music in the background. So he starts looking through it. He's like, I've heard of this, Michael Jackson Thriller, all the usual stuff. And he looks at me and he goes, hey, you have all of these, right? And I said, actually, no, I don't. I probably have 300 of them, right? 350 of them, right? It's amazing how much music there is out there.
And you know, I look a lot of those VC videos, and you do too. And in every video,
yeah,
on nearly every video, there is, oh, this record. Oh, I don't have. Oh, that sounds interesting. Oh, that sounds interesting. In every video, it's unbelievable how much is out there. And I think in 2021, we will see even more.
Agreed.
I think that 2021 will be huge.
Yes, I think so. Which reminds me, we've got a couple of interesting things planned that are, I'm trying to think, you know, I don't believe that I've seen any VC channel feature the guests that we're going to have in the next couple of weeks or months. So you know, it's your channel. So if you want to introduce that, obviously.
Yeah, because we have planned through the connections Danny has. We have planned some very, very special guests. I don't want to do name dropping right now, but I can announce that we will have people who does those wonderful recordings we talked about today and in other videos. We'll have them as our guests, and we will talk to them, and they can explain the things they go through to give us those wonderful audiophile recordings. And this will be, in my opinion, something very, very special and very, very interesting. And I can't wait to do the first one, which may happen next week. We have an appointment, and it will be great. Trust me.
I think so. You know, I think the key element, you touched on it, there is so much that goes on behind the scenes that people have no idea.
Yes.
They go to their record store, they go to their online retailer, they punch in, you know, James Taylor, they punch in John Mayer, whatever. They go to eBay, you know, Telearch Time Warp, and it shows up 3 days later, 4 days later on the doorstep. Oh, wow, great, a new record.
But
what they don't see, what went on behind the scenes to make that record happen.
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
Yes, and that's the great thing. And I really hope, and I think I'm quite sure that we can shed some light on that part, how much effort goes into these productions, and that may, at least I hope, that may help people to get a better understanding why those editions sometimes cost more than your regular Madonna vinyl.
Yeah.
Which has millions of, not millions nowadays, but a lot of copies out there.
And not only, I think, costs more, but why sometimes it takes so long to get. Right?
Good point. Very good. Why do they get delayed? What can happen? Very
exactly.
Good. Yeah,
right? Because I think that's, you know, in the world of consumerism that we unfortunately live in today, everybody wants everything right away, right? Nobody wants to wait. And it's like, oh, you know, so-and-so, Chad announced, you know, the next 6 titles. Where are they? Why can I not get them today? Right?
Yeah, my Davis, Kind of Blue.
That's right.
No, give it to me. I need it.
I know. I want it now.
Yeah, I want it.
By the way, speaking of Miles Davis Kind of Blue, I still don't have my my copy of Aqualung.
Aqualung. You'll get some very special ones, huh?
I have two numbers reserved. So hopefully in January.
We know those numbers, very special.
Yes. Hopefully they're going to get my way in January. So.
Yeah. Okay, Danny.
Great stuff.
Thank you for the first round.
Likewise.
Thank you for watching us, and we see us soon. Very soon.
Yes. Thanks for a great channel that you do. And by the way, I have to tell you, you know, I know your workload professionally. I know this is a hobby of yours, the fact that you find the time to do multiple videos in such quick succession, unbelievable.
Okay.
Kudos to you.
Okay.
All right.
See you.
See
Bye.
you guys.